Hey, in today's Hotmart Tips, I'm going to give you some pointers for those of you who want to record your video lessons at home. This is great for teachers who need to adapt their classes to the online format and for those who want to create an online course from scratch without having to invest a ton in a professional studio. For the last 6 months, I've been at home, like so many folks around the world. In that time, I've put together my own home studio. I've been making videos with my cell phone. If creating your online course at home using only your cell phone is something that's really interesting to you, then after this video, you should check out the Smart Course Maker. It's a free course where I'll walk you through the process of putting together your online course on a budget. Check out the link in the description. Today we're going to take a look at some of the simple things that you can do to make your videos more professional looking. Let's go! The first thing to do is to plan the content and extra material. Preparation isn't something new, but when you're filming classes at home, it's a little different. And even more important, the way you plan things shouldn't be like an in-person class. If you want to look more professional in your videos, then you need to be prepared. My tip here is that you divide your content into several smaller classes. Unlike in-person classes, where you spend an hour talking about the same subject, for video classes, it's really important that you divide things into smaller blocks. Hear me out here. It's better for you and your students to have 4 15-minute classes than one class that's 1 hour long. In video classes, you have to talk a lot more because you don't have the same interaction, and you end up sharing a ton of information even in those 15 minutes. A 1 hour class would be information overload. In addition to long classes being tiring, when you divide things up, it's easier for the students to find a specific point that they want to study later. They can also pause during the video, review the supplementary material, which could be a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF, and have time to take in and process all the content. Plan for your videos to last for 10 to 15 minutes at most. A trick for you to know how long your video will be is to divide the number of words in the script by 150. The result is the average number of minutes it will take for you to deliver the text. That sounds like a lot of complicated math. So let's take a look at an example. This script that I'm reading right now is about 2,000 words. If I divide that by 150, it tells me that this video is going to be about 13 minutes long. It's a rough estimate, but it will give you a start when you're writing your classes. Talking about what you've written, the script is important for you to not get lost and not forget to say something important. Write the text as if you were speaking, because when you need to give the class in front of a camera, the idea is to convey an impression of naturalness to those who are watching. I know that there's a tendency to think that you can just wing it and just talk about the class subject with no script. But the reality is, if you want your classes to look a lot more professional, you need to write it out beforehand. And ahhing and getting lost in your train of thought is a lot less tolerable when it's a video. What was I talking about? Even if you're not interacting directly with your students, you still need to ask questions, take pauses, and encourage them to think with you. Act as if you're talking to a person on the other side of the lens. In the end, there will be a person who's behind the screen watching you later. Remember that fact and talk with them to make you feel closer. To structure the way that you write out the script, I recommend that you use 2 columns in a Word document. Write the text that will be spoken on one column, and in the other column, put what you plan to appear in the video. Things like keywords, important notes, or visual aids, for example. This way makes it much easier to record and edit, even if you are the person who will be editing the video later. It helps you remember what you planned out. If you want to check out a video about how to easily add visual aids to your classes using iMovie right in your phone, check out a video in the link above. To record videos, choose a quiet, well-lit location. When you record at home, there are external noises that a controlled studio just doesn't have. And that's normal. I live in a city where there's a lot of street noise during the day, so I have to do most of my recording at night. You need to do what you can to prevent noises from disturbing your video. Choose a quiet place, shut the windows, and if you live with other people, let them know when you'll be recording and that you'll need some silence time. Another important thing in the video is lighting. If you don't have good artificial lighting, record during the day. and preferably in front of a window. Nice window lighting can be fantastic, but a downside is that you'll need to record at the same time every day if you want consistency in the way that your videos look. If you want to invest in lighting equipment, you can buy a softbox. Also, these lighting rings are becoming really popular and easy to find. You've probably already watched a lot of videos on social media with creators using one of these. Does this type of lighting look familiar? That's probably because they're using a lighting ring. It's because this simple setup is efficient and pretty cheap. It's also portable, so you can take it with you and film in different locations around the house. You could also piece together your lighting with things that you already have. I made the lighting setup that I'm using right now using 3 buckets and styrofoam boxes, aluminum foil, wax paper, and the strongest LED lights that we had in the apartment building. I'm not going to show you in detailed steps because you should use what you already have around your house or apartment and be creative. In the end, you'll need a bucket or styrofoam box with a hole to run the lighting through, aluminum foil to line the inside of the bucket or box to reflect the lighting and make it brighter, and wax paper to put over the opening of the box to diffuse the light more evenly. To set your lighting up, take into consideration your situation. How much space do you have? Are you going to need to take the lights down and put them back up every time that you want to shoot? For my lighting right now, I've taken over this part of my kitchen. I'm using 3 lights. The 2 stronger lights are slightly above me and tilted down, and on my left and on my right. You can see how it changes if I only use one light or the other. This is only the light on my right, and this is only the light on my left. And in the background here, I have a 3rd light on the ground, lighting the wall behind me. It helps to eliminate shadows and to make this dark wall a little bit brighter. I know this wall is not ideal, but it provides the only solid background that I can use in my apartment. So I've learned to live with it. The next step is to record the video. I'm not a professional video maker, obviously, and I don't have a big fancy camera. You can use your cell phone to shoot. That's what I'm doing right now. Make sure that you have a tripod to support your phone. You can get creative and try to set up a DIY tripod, but I highly recommend that you pick up a phone tripod or an adapter so that you can put your phone on a tripod that you might already have. Remember to test things out to see how the angle is. If everything is framed right and if things are in focus, a tip is to leave the camera at eye level or a little bit above, looking down at you, and leave a little bit of space on the side so that you can move around a little bit or insert visual aids later while editing. In the end, avoid shooting with the camera below and looking up, and don't frame things too tightly. For audio, try to find a space that doesn't echo too much. To help limit the echo and outside noise, you can use a lapel microphone if you want to invest a little bit. I'll leave a link to a blog post all about audio in the description. In the end, avoid spaces with echoes and use a lapel mic if you can. In my case right now, I happen to have a separate audio recorder. I'm recording the audio on this, and I'll sync the audio later when I'm editing. This helps cut down on the echoes that this kitchen area has and sounds better than using the audio recorder built into my phone. Talking about extra equipment, you might have noticed that I have 2 phones set up here. That's because I'm using one as my teleprompter. Remember we were talking about how important a script is so that you're prepared? You don't need to memorize everything you wrote. You can use Parrot Teleprompter or one of the many other teleprompter apps that are out there to show your script while you're shooting. Apps like BIGVU even let you shoot your video in selfie mode while being able to read the script on your screen. My tip is to download a few different teleprompter apps and play around with them till you find the one that fits your situation. Since I have access to my wife's phone, this makes it easier to follow these tips. Tip number 1, use the camera on your phone pointing out, not the selfie camera. On most phones, the camera pointing out has much higher quality and will make your videos look better. Tip number 2, adjust your teleprompter so it looks like you're looking into the camera. It looks odd for viewers when your eyes are looking above or below the lens of the camera. In my case, I put the phone acting as my teleprompter directly below the lens of the phone that I'm filming with. I adjust the settings so that the lettering on the teleprompter only appears on the part of the screen directly below the lens. On most teleprompter apps, you'll find this under the margins options in the settings. If you don't have the habit of speaking in front of a camera, then just relax. Like everything in life, with time and practice, it gets easier. Just remember to smile and to keep an open posture and speak clearly to show confidence and to hold the attention of your audience. And don't forget that you have an audience, even if you can't see them. It might feel strange to speak with extra energy and excitement when you're alone in your kitchen in front of a camera. What doesn't look normal is when it does look like you're at home in your kitchen talking to yourself and nobody's watching. It looks depressing. If you mess up a little and need to cut a part of the video, like I do a lot, do it in editing. Editing allows you to paste the video and to add visual elements. For more about editing and a lot of other great tips for you to create your online course at home and on a budget, check out the Smart Course Maker in the description of this video. With the Smart Course Maker, you'll get a series of emails to walk you through step by step so that you can make your own online class. It's really well thought out and it's free, so you've got nothing to lose. So, let's get down to business. Sign up for the Smart Course Maker, subscribe to HotmartTips to get more videos like these. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and start making your online course that you can start doing what you love. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you when it's time for another HotmartTips. I'm not going to show you in deep to help with limiting the echo and I'll leave a link to a blog post in the That's because I'm using Chuka. That's because I'm using one as a